This is a new moon reading for the 4th or 5th of June, depending where in the world you are, for all star signs. Now, I know people ask how can it be for all star signs, but all these planetary alignments do come up with an archetypal energy, an overarching energy, which obviously then shifts slightly depending on the houses that it falls in for each specific person, or star sign for each person. But basically there is an overarching energy, an overarching theme. And this reading is for that, for this new moon. Now, I drew an archetype card for this, which basically really is a inner thimble, what is the overarching energy. Now, some of you will not know what the archetype cards are, so I will just explain it one more time. Archetypes are energies that have been around since the beginning of time. They stay constant, no matter what the fashion, no matter where you are, no matter what era it is, those energies are still there. And ancient cultures and civilizations fleshed them out, made them 3D, made them fantastical, and these are what the archetypes were made to look like. They were characters in myths and legends, basically. Now, the one that came up for this new moon is that of Vulcan, or inventiveness. Tripping over that word. This says to think outside the square, outside the box, right? And go for the most creative solution. Hold your emotions in check and think rationally. So I'm thinking this new moon is going to bring some new situation into your life that needs you to think creatively. You're instinctively going to have an emotional response to it or reaction. Response is more measured. This will be emotional reaction. And the energy with this new moon is saying, rather step back, take a breath, and think creatively. Because that's what Vulcan is all about. The creating out of nothing something incredible. Okay? So it might be a bit of a challenge. I'm sure it will be. But you can create something possibly mystical, even magical out of this. Because the next card that comes up, which is actually the challenge, says that we're perhaps working too hard at the moment. We're not spending enough time having fun, even within our work. We take life very seriously because life is serious. We're learning so many lessons at the moment with all the planetary alignments of the last 4 years. We've basically all been through the ringer in one way or another. Some department of your life has really been pulverized. All departments of your life have had a major sweep through them. And it's made us very serious, and we take things terribly seriously. So we're not seeing the fun in things anymore. We're not playing anymore. And I know for some people this is possibly impossible at this moment in time because life is challenging. It's dealt with things where you can't possibly see the bright side of it. But what this card is saying that you need to balance that energy with a more light-hearted energy, and the way to do this is to go and have some fun. So even if it's going out and sitting in the park and feeding the pigeons for a while, because you really can't actually do fun stuff, but you can find space and time in your life for that. That's just an example. It says playing is vitally important to your physical and your emotional well-being. One is working too hard, and it's not just physical work where we're working too hard. We are also working too hard in our minds. We're trying to work through things in our minds too much. We're not spending time using our imaginations anymore, dreaming of things. So this also applies. It says you need to find that balance between work and play. And I'm saying this again, not only in a physical way, but also in your mental space and in your spiritual space. Find the balance between work and play. The next card that comes up is that what this new moon is providing you with now is the ability or the potential to develop a certain skill in your set of skills for life that will make your life elevate. It'll evolve. And the skill you're going to learn here is balance. That's what that card is all about. It says you can learn to balance your responsibilities with life so they don't weigh you down. So once you've learned to play and work in equal amounts, in your mind, physically, spiritually, mentally, you will then learn the skill of balancing life so that it doesn't weigh you down, because we are all terribly weighed down by life at the moment. And this message coming through is saying, play a bit more. Do things which are playful. It's not necessarily a fun element, it's a playful element. So whatever that might be to you, it's going to be so different to different people. I know I love to knit. I love to take photographs. I love to work with photographic software. I love making these videos, being very creative with them. I love going for walks on the wildlife estate where we are. I love feeding the birds. I can watch them coming. So it's not even huge things that you need to do, but you need to give time to that every day, as much time as you're giving to the serious stuff in your life. Because the outcome of this, if you learn that skill, that balance of work and play, that balance of duty, responsibility, and bringing a lighter side into your life, of playing, serendipity comes into your life. And serendipity is the one thing we all are after. That means things line up in a time and a place, and you seemingly have a windfall. These are things that happen that are unplanned. They just strike out of nowhere because you're there, and this comes along, right time, right place, it happens for you. So to create that serendipity in your life, this is the actions that you need to take. When life is difficult like it is at the moment, and we're learning major life lessons, we often feel like we're not moving forward because there's so much challenge along the way. And we're not quite achieving our aims because of how heavy the learning curve is here. Then the balance comes in serendipity. In other words, things happen out of the blue. They happen by chance, and you get stuff. It manifests. It brings you things, but you didn't have to work for them. This is the balance on that scale. So on the one hand, you're learning hard lessons and seemingly really sickling. It's one step forward, 3 steps backwards, round and round in the mud kind of thing. On the other hand, the universe will just send you these things out of the blue that you didn't work for. But here you need to strike the balance between serious and play. That's basically the message coming through here. Where relationships are concerned, how this moon affects you is that this could be the one card came up, which I thought was really interesting. So someone new is coming in. You've quite possibly met them in the last, I'd say, few days even. And you're feeling that connection with them. But I think something is holding a lot of you back on some level. Even if you're with someone for a while now, long-term relationships and partnerships, something is holding you back. And this new moon is giving you that potential to take a closer look at them, because they are actually what you were looking for. They are what you're looking for. Because the next card that comes up says that, what I wrote here, the moon stuff, there's always a little catch, there is. Where the moon is concerned, there's always that little bit of veil of mystery, always that veil which behind is, truth is so dependent, isn't it? But a little bit more truth hangs behind that veil, a little bit more of the message hangs behind that veil. And here it is, the trust issue. So you have to have faith in the situation will roll out like it's supposed to, and that it is rolling out like it's supposed to. So if you have met somebody recently and you feel this instant attraction to them, or you resonate with them on some level, but you're feeling more of an inclination to perhaps cast them aside because they don't quite meet your requirements, or your timing isn't great, it doesn't feel right now. Trust the fact that the universe has brought this person into your life, and to follow the path where it leads. It will give you pointers, just follow them. And for those of you in permanent partnerships and relationships, have faith in those partnerships and relationships. Trust that they are leading you where you're supposed to go. Don't look at them as the block or the challenge they're there because you're supposed to be walking this road. It's going to be taking you somewhere that you want to be eventually. And the outcome card in this section is things seem rather stormy, and relationships may be upsetting the apple cart and bringing emotions to the surface, clearing out, etc. But to have faith in them, because someone is going to come along that, or has come along, that could eventually knock your socks off, right? Or the relationship you're in at the moment could knock your socks off. And it says that you perhaps need to wait it out. I don't want to say patience. It's not about patience. It's about rolling with it. Yes, those are the words I want. Roll with it, because your socks are going to be knocked off for some reason. I'm not sure what it is. That's just the words, the message coming through. So I'm waiting to see what this is. And let's see what it works out for each of your lives. Right, so that's the new moon reading for June of 2016. I do hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching this.